So I don't know what to speak today. If no suggestion or question is, then we could speak a little higher topic spoken by Srila Goswami Maharaj. Yes, no. Back to Godhead. Knowledge-free devotion. There we will find the Lord of Love. Love is the worshipping and adoring factor everywhere in that plane. The essential feature of that realm is the relationship of divine love to the central object. And we will find our fulfillment by getting service in a particular position in relation to Him. That is what is needed by everyone. To enter into the land of love and achieve some engagement in the loving service of the central representation of absolute sweetness, beauty, and love. And that highest absolute center came down as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to return to his home, saying, I have come to invite you and to take all of you to my home. Come with me. What a fortunate opportunity we have by accepting his proposal and gaining admittance in that line. How happily we can go back home, back to God. It is the very gist of all religions. Knowingly or unknowingly, every soul is searching for divine love. Still, different varieties of obstacles are coming to dissuade us from our campaign. But the heart won't be satisfied unless and until it reaches there. Once begun, our journey towards Krishna can never be stopped anywhere. It is merely a question of delay. A long, long time, ages and ages may pass by, but our ultimate success cannot be checked. So Krishna alone can really attract us. We cannot relish anything else from the depth of our heart and accept it as our final destination. We want only beauty and love, not power or knowledge. This is a big mistake nowadays. Many movements or many religions, they're going for power, knowledge, money, name, fame. But the real devotees, we will find in the holy places. They say Krishna alone can really attract us. We cannot relish anything else from the depth of our heart and accept it as our final destination. We want only beauty and love, This is what we are all looking for. And the others are power, knowledge, and control, and enjoyment. All these things, they are not meant. We are practically become disqualified to understand Krishna as the sweet manifestation of sweetness and love. It may seem that we want power. We sometimes think that we must have everything. We want that controlling capacity. We want that everything will come under our control. That whatever we want shall be done. But that is not what we truly want. It may seem that we want power, but ultimately power cannot satisfy us. But ultimately power cannot satisfy us. And sometimes we may think that we want to know everything. We may not want to have the power of control over all. But to have the power of control over all. But they want to know everything. We don't like to be ignorant. But it is also not the ultimate end which can fulfill our inner necessity. That is not what we really want. We must become educated about our actual necessity, the inner search for our hearts. If we do that properly, we shall find that we are all beggars of love and affection. So adoration is the innermost necessity everywhere that can be completely satisfied only in Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. This conclusion was broadcast by Vedavyas, the compiler of the Vedic scriptures. Even contemporary scholars admit that Vedavyas has disseminated all possible lines of philosophical thought in the Vedas, Puranas, Mahabharata, and Vedanta Sutra. And in his last days, in his philosophical maturity, he gave Srimad Bhagavatam, which culminates in the conception of divine love. Krishna Prema. The innermost hankering of every living soul is for beauty, love, affection, and harmony, not for power. So, knowledge or anything else. Then we have to check ourselves. Sometimes we have to make a self-reflection. What we are what we are going for. What is if Krishna takes away all the power? If he takes away all the knowledge, there's those who think they're very intelligent. When they realize one day that they have not understood anything real, they have nothing, ignorance, but they want to know everything. You can never understand everything. How can you understand Krishna? So this running for these things, and this will not be successful. We will always fail. Knowledge and anything else, this is the diagnosis, the whole creation in time and space. Their common cause is one. But it is rare for a soul to reach such a clear stage of hankering for reality as to understand this point. Who are really conscious of their innermost necessity, who realize we want Krishna, we want Vrindavan. Such sincere souls are not really found. This is mentioned many places in scriptures. Manushyanam sahasreshu narayanam parayanam pramananam sahasrebhyo. There's only one end. Many are not necessary. Only one. The one that, very one we want, is a relationship of divine love. An intellectual understanding of Krishna consciousness is impossible. Just as a bee cannot taste honey by licking the outside of a glass jar, one cannot enter the domain of higher spirit through the intellect. As subjects, we are subordinate to the supreme subject. So there must be seva, service. Seva is the all-important factor. In the Bhagavad Gita is mentioned that pranipāt, respectful approaching, pariprasna, sincere inquiry, and seva, an attitude of service are necessary to enter into the domain of divine love. Only by service will Krishna be satisfied and come down. Only then will we be able to understand the nature of a higher plane. This is Vedic knowledge. So only with this attitude, seva, sincerely inquiring, respectful approaching. With this attitude we can approach the spiritual master. We should tatvidi paribhadena, pariprasnena, and so forth. He can, in this attitude, we can get deeper understanding. Oh, the Lord will be attracted to us. And all those who are on the plane, on the transcendental plane, they will immediately know, yes, they will help us. But no other attitude. We cannot cheat Krishna and Guru. So we are the Dasta Shakti, marginal potency. If we want to know any truth about higher reality, we must realize that it is more subtle than our existence. It is super subjective. It can touch us, but we cannot climb up to the domain out of our own sweet will. Only if we are given the grace which can take us up can we go. So in this Vini Paripadana Paripashnina Seva Uparikshantiti Jnanam Jnanashtatatashina. They also say this attitude of Paripashnina, approaching respectfully, sincerely acquiring and seva. We can approach a real devotee who is coming from the transcendental plane, who is knows the transcendental plane, he knows the truth. So he can show us the truth. One who has not realized, who has not understood, he cannot give. Because it is so subtle, it is so fine and so pure that only very few are able to understand the real thing. So one who has this understanding will be able to combat all existing intellectualists. The intellect has no capacity to enter into the higher, subjective era. That supreme truth is Atindriya Manasa Gojara, beyond the plane of the senses, mind and intellect. So we have to understand this, because we think sometimes on the mental plane I can approach the Lord. But on the intellectual plane, it's very subtle things. What to think of the gross plane, you know. Even if I'm a pujari and I touch, if I'm not realized on the proper plane, then I touch only stone or wood. If I see on the altar, I see only nice decoration or not. But I cannot see him because he's beyond, even mentally. I can imagine something, but it is mentally, it is not real. The mind can never approach the transcendental plane. And not also the intellect. Because our intellect is insignificant, small, we have no capacity. So if we are acting in a devotional way, by serving, trying to serve the Lord humbly, not for any material benefit, only for pleasing Him, He will be attracted. We approach Him in a Paripasna, Seva, means respectfully and humble inquiry, and the mood of Seva. Then He will reveal Himself to us with the help of a bona fide sadhu, saint. So it's beyond the plane of the senses, mind and intellect. So this is not helpful in approaching the Lord. Somebody who argues with a saint who's giving a statement, but he says, no, but I think it is like this. He is completely disqualified. He is out of the play. He has no capacity. He has not the attitude to really understand. So, the supreme truth is atindriyana manasagocha, beyond the plane of senses, mind and intellect. This expression manasova bhusovajo, vaibhavam davagochara. By Brahma admitting to Krishna that he was beyond the reach of his body, mind and words, was not only a lip-deep statement of the mouth. If you want to know the absolute truth, the only condition for realizing him is a submissive attitude. Do we have mala? He may be satisfied with our attempt and reveal himself to us. If you want to know the absolute truth, the only condition for realizing him is a submissive attitude. In that way he may be satisfied with the attempt and reveal himself to us. So it must come from up to down. We cannot go up. We must take the position of Trinadapi Sunijana Tarodapi Sahishana. So divine revelation is not a matter of research within this world. We should have a sincere heart to serve. The scientists are discovering so many wonderful things, but are these things there already, or are the scientists creators? So those wonderful truths are already there. It is only that some of them are being discovered. It is not the creation of the scientist. So they are not superior to those truths. And in any case, they cannot know only a part of it. and even that with some endeavor. But the conscious nature of reality, the superior reason of divinity, is unknown to them. Although they may go on researching, whatever they find is only the outer cover, not the real spirit, the substance. Nadevi tu svatakatim hi Vishnum. It's up to this point. Maybe something clear. Sorry, again.
If we imagine as an hypothesis that somebody is serving in the pujari without any deep realization, so yes, there is stone, marble, there is wood, but does this person have some benefit even in spite of this lack of belief or faith, or since there is no faith, the service is completely useless?
No, this is not useless. This is, we cannot surrender, or we cannot take this attitude from one day to another. Or it takes many lifetimes. So, this is called sadhana. We try to, like, when they're boxing, in front of a mirror, also sometimes, or in the air, they're training, but they are not really boxing. So there's a process given by Mahaprabhu and the Shastras, how to approach, because we are living beings identifying ourselves with everything gross, whatever we can perceive to our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, touch. This is really real for us. We are ignorant about the mind. We have no idea. In India, or when I first came to India, it was clear for me. The mystics, the yogis, they can control your mind, they can see your mind, they see what you think. This was, for me, I was young, very young this time. But we are ignorant here in the West, and now we become more and more tamasic under the influence of tamagun. Everything gets lost, and we are thinking ourselves very proud, I understand. We are not taking the attitude of submissive or humility like this, because we think we know better. This is what we have to learn, and this is a process. It takes actually many lifetimes. Don't think it goes like in one life I go back to God. Yes, possible. But we should not think about ourselves. I go back to God after this, because I'm not anymore eating schnitzel. or I don't know, whatever. I'm following this and this laws. No, we must come all these subtle levels we have to go through. We have to realize intellect is even more fine than the mind. Because he can control the mind, the intellect. The mind has the duty only to this is nice for my tongue, for my enjoyment. But this is not nice, and this is not nice. So if you make want to go in somewhere and think that I want now to drink what is called vodka. Vodka is alcohol, not a bottle of vodka. And the intellect might tell you, don't do this. It's not. You will be go mad, you know, and you will have problems. Your health will not. It's not good for your health, and whatever. So it is above the mind, and then the identification that this is me, the mind, the intellect, the body I possess now. I identify with these things, so I am completely limited personality. I'm like in a prison house. So if I want to get out of this and understand, then I have to reject, I have to come on higher planes. First on the subtle planes I must understand, then go to the mental, intellectual plane. Then you have to realize all these things are illusion, temporary. And then you have to leave this. And you don't have to die. This has to die. No, you have to realize this is not me. You have to understand this is the false ego. I identify with something I am not. My real position is I am eternal servant of the lotus feet of Radharani, or Radha Govinda, or Jagannath, or Nishinga. So many relations we have there. We can choose. Wherever we are, we have already a position. But it's not clear now. Everything will be clear one day. So in this, I don't know. Answer.
And when you say the yogis, you meant in India, your youth, I think you are saying this word yogi in a different way than we think in the West, because yogi here is meant as somebody practicing hatha yoga. So
it's not it. Not this kind of yogis. This is.
But they were not, I think, the spiritual masters you're talking about.
No, this different class. I was not looking for this cheap. Things. I was sincere because I realized only this cannot be the world of where I can get what, should I work now up to 60, 70 years, hard working for money, and then everything will be taken away, my health, my body, and then what is happen afterwards? Nobody thinks of not sincerely. We are very attached here. Nobody thinks about where he's coming from, what I'm doing here. This was a question here. Nobody could answer. Why I'm here? What is the reason? It's by accident. No, I must find out why I'm here, because I wanted to have it. Because I decided. So if I want to go back to Godhead, if I want to go back home, then I also must decide. The desire must be more strong than the desire to enjoy in this world. It's a symbol. It's logical, or is it logical? It is our universe. And here we find so many wrong, so many enemies, you know. Everybody is more or less our enemy because they want something from me. And I am getting angry with them. But in reality, I am fighting with myself. It is my karma, my problem. I project my faults on the others. I see how they are bad, how they are good. This anyway, this is a sign, and we have to realize it. It's theoretically we can speak about this for hours, for lifetimes. But we must realize, we must understand, we must surrender. That Mahaprabhu make it so easy. By Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord's name and Lord Himself, there's no difference. Have you realized? This we must understand. We have a few minutes if somebody wants to comment on something. According to our sincerity, Krishna will help us to go forward. And He will show us, but the desire I want, yes, this is the right or this is the wrong, this is up to me. I decide. So this is the hardest part in the devotion and bhakti. To make the right desire. This is, we have to go for sweetness, for real love. We do not see enemies in anyone, because we all belong to the Supreme Lord. We are all the same spirit source. Only this perverted thinking, I and my thinking, this makes us fight all the time. The whole world is fighting with each other because they're greedy for their own essential enjoyment, running for whole life for I and my, and not getting happy. This is material world and this is spiritual world. We have to see Krishna, we have to see him with transcendental eyes. We cannot see him. When you remember always when you go to see the Lord on the altar, Gurudev on the altar, on the Samadhi, then you always have to sing, my Lord, I have no eyes to see you. My eyes are useless. I am completely disqualified. But I beg for your mercy that one day you may reveal yourself and you make me your servant. With these eyes we have to see him. I have no eyes to see you, but you can make it. You can, if you want, you can show me. But even the Goswamis say, I don't know who brought Sanatan, I don't want to see, you don't have to prove that you exist. I know that you are here. I know. I don't want a proof that you are here. You are here all the time. But I am not here. I am living in this material world. I am not living with him. So if you are, even if you are in the material body, you may be, if you have realized, if we have got the mercy of the Lord, then you are not a member of this world. Because you can see everywhere, you can feel, my Lord is there. Everything, nothing exists outside of him. Everything is him. We are all part and parcels of him. So I have to lovingly care, lovingly deal with everything, because it is for him, it is created for him, for his pleasure, and we are also for him, for his pleasure. When we realize that we are practicing this, then we will understand. Then we will become a member of the eternal world. We don't have to be afraid of anything in this world. Because Lord himself will care for his devotees. And they will never die. But only those who understand, who have realized, they know that Rupa Goswamis and the Goswamis are all our acharyas, all the great saints. They are always present. We have to just learn, or we have to just become qualified. Be a member of the transcendental world, of Goloka. So Maharaj is a small boy there, playing with Gopal. So time is over now. Is anything more to say? Sorry, I don't know if anybody understood what I say. I just repeat what I heard from the real wise men, saints. Everything clear? Thank you, Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Guru Pramandi, Mantra Kalpatarubhyas. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.